Hello everyone and welcome to Clockwise, the series that will talk about LPL and VCS. I know that not many people watch them frequently, so I really want to talk about them because I think that they are the most fun ones and the ones that I like following the most, and I want to share it with you. So shout out to Ichishiki, Alveo and Pengaro for helping me with the translation for the title in Vietnamese and Chinese. It sounds really cool because it's like following the time needle. I don't know. It was really cool. So thank you to everyone. And okay, so I will talk weekly, hopefully, about everything that happens and which matches are cool to watch or which you should go back and rewatch, because I bet that nobody has the time to follow everything. I don't either, so I will only select some matches here and there. So the first part is about the LPL meta, what happens in China. It's usually wonky, so I will go and take out the notable picks that have been played. For example, Gnar, for the first one, it's actually very weird what's happening because it's very much played and with lots of success in China, but not in Korea, which is like played but with a very bad win rate. So I think it works very well into LPL style. He's a lane bully, has a lot of teamfight potential, and also has a very easy time getting prio and then rotating to help other lane. He also has good teleport presence with the Meganar, but also with the current support meta pool, he fits very well as a secondary engager, not a first initiator. So I think this is why it's so successful in China. We are also seeing a lot of Pantheon, and this is also providing a lot of benefits with his early invades and strong engage. But also, since we are seeing some poke comps, especially with Nidalee, Talia, Syndra, and such champions, also the Victor, he also softens the poke with his shield. So I believe this is another good reason why Pantheon is picked. Also in China, we're not seeing as much Rel and Maokai, which are different supports compared to the other ones that are picked in the current meta. And because I think it's because they offer very good counter engage, which is a tool that is not very common in China, where the teams are not very comfortable with these tools. So they prefer to shy away from them and just go all in, as they always did. One very interesting pick, last one, is Xayah, which is only played in China so far. Nobody has either picked or banned it in Korea at the time of recording. And I asked also some AD carries, and they all told me that it's very much important to have an AD carry that can self-peel and also has very good matchups into all short-range supports like Alistar, Leona, Sett, and so on. So I expect that Xayah will get picked also in LCK and in LEC soon enough. Let's move on to the second part, which is about the standings. At the moment, the standings are very wild, and it's hard to make very solid takes about what teams are good, what teams are bad, because the season is long and basically only 2 games have been played, 2 series for each team, some even less. But I can say that there are one surprisingly good team and one surprisingly bad team compared to expectation. And the surprisingly good one is Royal Never Give Up. They have been surprisingly playing better than I expected. Xiaohu, moving to the top lane, has shown a lot of flexibility, and also Gala and Ming in the bot lane, they have repeatedly taken advantages for themselves, 2v2 kills, and very important rotation. They're a good duo. Wei is doing a great job at setting up solo laners, and also what struck me are the very good Baron calls that they have forced in their last match against, let me check, the Orion. Yeah, it was against Suning, I believe. Yeah, with the Orion at the top, and they kept the tempo up with their 1-3-1. So Royal Never Give Up, really good team. Check it out. I hope they keep delivering. And the other one, as you might expect, doing surprisingly bad, is Top Esports. They are not in a good shape at the moment. Their coordination is very poor. They don't seem to be on the same page when it comes to team fighting. They are often on different parts of the map, and the engages are not followed up enough to get them the team fight win they need. 369 and Knight are definitely underperforming compared to last year, and even worse. They're not having a good time at the moment, and they are also, as some videos of Kelsey Moser suggest, they are trying to play some different comps from their comfort. So maybe it's just growing pains. They got a win against Rare Atoms, but I don't believe that it's a significant victory. They need to do way better against better teams if they want to get to the finals again. Definitely important series to catch up. The most beautiful ones from the first 2 weeks were JDG versus IG. IG played very well, especially when it came to snowballing. The advantages that Shun gathered in the early game. Needly, that was a very clutch pick. Shun can be a great generator of advantages, and IG played very well around him. So catch that series up. Royal versus Suning, as I was saying, the 1-3-1 and the Orion top were at the light to watch. So also very fun series. EDG versus FPX was the match of the week for the second week, but it was like, I had a hard time understanding it. It was a insane fiesta, and also I bet I wasn't the only one that had a hard time understanding what happened, because some fans reported that Viper, notoriously Korean, had no idea either, because all his teammates were speaking Chinese. So I bet me and him understood just as much. And last one, they have just finished playing WE versus IG. That was a very close match, very evenly matched. It was a great stylistic clash. Mid lane focus for IG, and then side lane focus for WE. Shanks and Breathe played an insane Camille and Oriana duo. Fantastic. Their team fight were so crisp. Not the FPX one. So catch them up. About VCS, there's not much to say because they're beginning next week. The only notable information is about Zeros, which apparently has been fined and deducted part of his salary because he has voiced some lacking payments from his past organization, GAM, Gigabyte Marines. So there has been some movement here and there. I will link in the description Ichishiki's report and SBTC's statement about the fine. You can find more information there. So I'm just delivering you the news. And important match to watch is next week, which is the last segment. Definitely EDG versus JDG. I like how EDG is playing with Jie. I hope they never start clear low. Well, I'm biased, but I think GG is very much mechanically proficient, so I want them to keep him. And JDG is still growing pains. Mystic has yet to arrive in China due to restrictions about COVID, so it will not be an easy time, but they have started Yagao and Loken again, and they kind of found their footing, so it will be an interesting match. Also, FPX versus Suning, crucial, probably deciding which of these two teams will or not make the top 4. So keep an eye on, especially Nuguri versus Bean in the top lane. And last but not least, about, of course, VCS starts next week, and we have the replay of both last splits finals, which is GAM versus Flash. They have completely new teams. Well, not completely, but largely new teams. So it would be very interesting if they keep the rivalry up despite the roster changes. That is all for this first week, and remember to comment everything, especially if I skipped some series that you liked and I did not mention. Of course, there are a huge amount of games played. I'm just listing what I like more. So feel free to comment, and see you on the next video. Bye bye.